there is sections of the cricket community that are very resistant to any acceptance of racism and resistant to change.
First of all, how are you feeling this morning? I'm guessing this is probably a bit of a relief that it's done.
Yeah, I'm tired. It was a pretty long day yesterday. It's been a long process. It's been nearly 2.5 years since I spoke out to get to some sort of an end. I hope it's a good end, and we can all sort of really take stock, reflect, and try and work together to make cricket a game for everyone.
Are you happy with the conclusions of the panel?
Look, 7 out of 8 charges have been upheld or admitted. The one that hasn't, I disagree with it, but I respect it. But it's very important from my point of view that this is not about individuals. I've been clear of that from day one when I spoke out. Listening to some of the press interviews I did right at the start, I made that point and have continued to do that throughout. So I think it's for the game now to really accept its failings and work out a way to move forward.
Do you think the game is ready to accept that? Do you get a sense that there is a movement in a different direction?
If I'm being honest, I'm not sure. I think there is sections of the cricket community that are very resistant to any acceptance of racism and resistant to change. But there's a lot of good people around, and I just hope now this, the ruling yesterday, but also the ICEC report, which is incoming, is going to give everyone a chance to take real stock, look at themselves in the mirror, and see where they want the game that we all love to go. And if that's into a better place, then I think there needs to be a level of acceptance and a real commitment from everyone involved.
Do you want a role in that, in shaping where cricket goes from here?
I think it's too early to say at this stage. Look, I love the game. One of the things that hurts me the most is, through this last few years, I've lost a bit of love for the game that I've adored since since I was a child. So hopefully at some stage that'll be something I will do. But it's only been less than 24 hours since it feels like some sort of an end. But it's not about. I think the most important thing moving forward is how the leaders tackle these issues with real conviction and clarity.
I want to talk about the fact 5 former players, these charges have been upheld against 5 former players for bringing the game into disrepute through using racist and or discriminatory language towards you. Michael Vaughan, the ex-England captain, was cleared on the balance of probabilities. The panel said there were significant inconsistencies in the evidence that you provided and a fellow key witness, Adil Rashid, regarding the exact wording of Vaughan's alleged comment. How did you feel when they said that?
Look, I've still not had a chance to go through the findings in its entirety. Like I said, I disagree with them, but I will respect them. The little bits that I've read, they're a bit confusing for me to understand how they've got to that decision. But as I've said throughout, I feel incredibly vindicated yesterday and have done throughout every process that I've been put through. And now I hope cricket can really go in a different direction. It's just not been good enough, and this is not even what I've suffered. This is thousands of people, and as we'll see with the incoming ICEC report, it's what's been experienced by a lot of people across the game.
I've been struck this morning looking through the media coverage that a lot of the coverage, the top line has been Michael Vaughan, ex-England captain, has been cleared, not focusing on the fact that 5 former players have had charges against them upheld. Are you disappointed by that?
I think over the last 2.5 years, everything I've seen, I've come to expect it really. Going into the hearings, my expectations were low. It's been very clear that there's sections of the people that no matter what, even if I had body cam footage, would just not believe my experiences. I just hope that once we get past being hung up on one person, that people can see the problem that's been around Yorkshire County Cricket Club and the game as a whole. And I think the media's got a big part to play in if there's going to be some healing and stock and moving forward. If there's going to be a continuance of what's happened over the last 2.5 years, then unfortunately, the game that we all love is going to suffer.
How would you sum up how you've coped with all of this. You talked about how you're feeling tired, understandably, this morning. It's been 2.5 years since you first spoke out about this. And, you have been vilified by some people, you've been challenged. It must have been incredibly tough. And I know it's been difficult for your family. Just give us a sense of how hard it has been for you over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to put it in words, really. Never did I think when I spoke out that I'd have to move countries because my parents' house was being attacked. It's been tough. My wife's has suffered. My dad's health deteriorated quite significantly to the point that we've nearly lost him a couple of times through this process. So, the effect, but my challenges have been documented over and over again. But I feel sad and upset about the effect it's had on people around me. My family and all those that have supported me have suffered. Personally, professionally, and their mental health has deteriorated quite significantly for a lot of people. Other people that have supported me have had to get fences put up on their houses, cameras installed because of the constant abuse. But unfortunately, speaking out on racism was never going to be easy. I've been surprised at the level of, unwillingness to accept, despite all the admissions, despite everything being upheld everywhere. But, this has been embedded in the game for a very long time. But I just hope today, or when the ICEC report comes, that people can reflect and look to change.
I mean, it's a huge upheaval for you to move country because of this. Would you ever consider coming back to the UK?
Yeah, look, UK's home, right? My siblings are there. This is hopefully short term, just to protect my family's physical safety, but also their psychological safety. They've had to go through a hell of a lot. It's not fair on them, and I just want to try and now I've given a lot, I feel like, to the cause, and it's important now that my family deserves a bit of my time and efforts to give them the normal life that they deserve.
I know it will take time for you to look back and reflect on this, and it's only been, a day, but did you do the right thing? When you think about, I know you wanted to do this for you, and we often forget, don't we? You've spoken so eloquently about the impact it's had on your family, your friends, people around you. Was it worth it for you?
Look, that will be dependent on what happens in the next few years, and if we can look back in a few years and the game has really taken something from it and made it better for my kids and everyone else's, then yes. Ultimately, you come to a point in your life where you have a moment where you look at your life and go, you've got to look past your own nose. And that moment came for me in 2018 when I lost my son and the way I got treated around that. So, I knew when I was going to speak that the things weren't going to be easy. I know I'm not perfect. I don't think perfection is a human trait. And, from my point of view, I was happy to be the sacrificial lamb if required. But for me, it was most important that the game that I love and adored improved and made it better. And that's the only thing I've thought about throughout. Look, it's been difficult. At times it's been grueling. It's been, there's been some. The irony is, I sat on national television in 2020 and talked about how close I came to taking my own life, and to see the attempts and the way the cricket community pushed me further has been sad, and I think that'll take time for me to understand and heal from.
Thank you so much for watching. You get extra points for making it all the way to the end of the video.
And if you want to see more from me, Chloe and Callum, you can join us every Friday to Sunday on Times Radio from 6 a.m.